Ethereum is probably the last thing on your mind right now, and I don't blame you. Everyone is either talking about Bitcoin ETFs or going bargain hunting for altcoins. So it's easy to forget about the second biggest cryptocurrency. But recently, Ethereum rolled out a significant upgrade that I bet you didn't hear about. And I'm so bullish on what it brings to the table that I'm buying as much ETH as I possibly can. Now in just a minute, I'm going to share my updated price prediction for ETH. But first, what is the secret upgrade anyways? Well, its technical name is EIP 4337, but most people just call it account abstraction. It actually launched back in March of this year, but as we're still kind of in a bear market, it flew under most people's radars. Anyways, I think the best way to understand what it is to start with the problems that it solves. Let me ask you, have you ever lost some crypto because you misplaced your private key? Or maybe you decided not to use some dApp because you didn't have the proper gas token for it. Or maybe you got frustrated of having to click approve like 5 times just to do a simple token swap. Well, if any of those have ever crossed your mind, then you're not alone, because those are some pretty common pain points when it comes to crypto. And yet, with all those pain points, can we really be surprised that we haven't reached mass adoption yet? Well, this is where account abstraction comes in to save the day, because at its core, it's a feature that makes Ethereum accounts way more flexible and powerful. It turns them into programmable wallets, or smart accounts per se, so they can do a lot of things with custom logic. Now, that may still sound a little bit complicated to you, so let's just look at some concrete examples to see exactly what they can do for us. The first thing that account abstraction can do for us is social recovery. This is a process that allows you to regain access to your account through the people you trust, like friends or family. Your wallet is still controlled by a single signing key that approves all transactions. But now there's also something called guardian keys that can be used to change the signing key of any such account. Basically, you give out the guardian keys to people you trust, and if you ever lose your signing key, then they can come together to set up a new one for you. This is really like the Web3 version of the forgot password button, which up to this point, we didn't have in the crypto world. And this is a true game changer. I mean, can you imagine the millions of dollars that could be recovered if we had such a feature in the past? It's really crazy to think how we even got to this point without such a feature. Anyways, account abstraction also enables another form of asset recovery called the dead man switch. Basically, whenever a wallet owner passes away, this feature can transfer ownership of their assets to another designated receiver after a certain time period has passed. It's a bit morbid to think about, but this could really help your family members out in case of an accident. Just think about it. How would your family access your crypto right now if something were to happen to you? I bet the vast majority of us do not have a plan for that, and that's why this feature is so important. But account abstraction goes beyond just asset recovery. It can also help us improve our security and protect you against hackers. For example, you can program your wallet to require multiple key signatures in order to send out transactions past a certain value. That way, even if someone got control of your wallet, they would not be able to drain all your funds in one fell swoop. They'd have to do a smaller transaction first, at which point you may notice and take steps to secure the rest of it. Account abstraction also makes things way more convenient for us. One example is that it lets us use custom signature schemes, which just means that we'll have multiple different ways to sign a transaction. Instead of using a regular private key, we could also use biometric data like a fingerprint or Face ID to create a unique signature. Wouldn't it be awesome to sign our transactions with Face ID while our smartphone acts as our hardware wallet? That would be a super smooth experience compared to what we have to use these days. Also, another boost for convenience is that account abstraction lets us do batch transactions. Unlike traditional Ethereum accounts, which lets us do only one operation at a time, account abstraction makes it possible to execute multiple transactions simultaneously, which really streamlines our interaction with smart contracts. Here's an example. Instead of signing a ton of different approvals and confirmations when we trade on Uniswap or OpenSea, we could just do one signature for one swap, and that's it. But I think the biggest improvements for convenience are the new gas mechanisms that account abstraction enables. For example, it'll let us pay transaction fees in tokens other than ETH. You can even pay with a token that you're receiving or sending, which would make things super convenient, right? Also, with gas sponsorship, a dApp could subsidize the gas fees for end users so that we don't have to fund our wallet first before we start to use their app. This could really be the feature that unlocks Web3 gaming, because so far there's just too many points of friction for them to onboard their first billion gamers. Now, I've been hyping up account abstraction for quite a bit now, and it might seem too good to be true, but don't just take my word for it. Our fearless founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, supports this upgrade too. One reason he likes it is because it can be easily integrated without making current network participants update their software or agree on any changes. Also, he says that any limitations to this upgrade can be addressed by other proposals in the future. So yeah, thanks to account abstraction, a bunch of the user experience hurdles that were holding us back are about to disappear. Pretty soon, people won't have to worry about losing their private keys, they won't have to manually sign a ton of transactions just to buy an NFT, and they won't have to use complicated bridges just to interact with a different blockchain. Those have long been impediments to mass adoption, but with this one new upgrade, I think the sky's the limit for Ethereum now. And that brings us to the million-dollar question on our minds, which is, what does this mean for the price of ETH? Well, as we get more adoption, we can expect more activity and higher transaction volume on the Ethereum network. That means more demand for its native gas token ETH, and combine that with the deflationary tokenomics brought by the merge, and it's a certified recipe for takeoff. That's why I'm calling it now that ETH will hit $10,000 in the next 3 years, in large part thanks to account abstraction. Now, it should not surprise you that I think Ethereum will destroy all its competitors. Solana, Avalanche, Cardano, you name it. But did you know that account abstraction isn't even the reason why I think it'll happen? Well, the reason why is because of a whole different technology that Ethereum has. And to find out what it is, you're gonna have to watch this video right here.